2 Samuel chapter 14. Joab, the son of Zeruiah, noticed that the king's heart was inclined toward Absalom. So Joab sent to Tekoah and brought a wise woman from there. He said to her, "Please pretend to be in mourning, put on mourning clothes and don't anoint yourself with oil. Act like a woman who has been mourning for the dead for a long time. Then go to the king and speak to him like this." Joab put the words in her mouth. When the woman of Tekoah spoke to the king, she fell face down to the ground and paid homage, saying, "Help, king!" "What's the matter?" the king asked her. She said, "I am a widow, my husband is dead. I, your servant, had 2 sons. They had a fight in the field, and there was no one to separate them. One struck the other and killed him. Now the whole clan has risen up against your servant and said, 'Hand over the one who killed his brother so we may put him to death for the life of the brother he murdered. We will eliminate the heir.' They would extinguish my one remaining ember by not preserving my husband's name or posterity on earth." Then the king told the woman, "Go home. I will issue a command on your behalf." The woman of Tekoah said to the king, "My lord the king, may any blame be on me and my father's family, and may the king and his throne be innocent. The one who speaks to you will bring you to me." The king replied, "He will never harm you." Then she said, "Please, may the king invoke the Lord your God, so that the avenger of blood will not increase the loss, and they will not eliminate my son. As the Lord lives," he vowed, "not a hair of your son will fall to the ground." Then the woman said, "Please, may your servant speak a word to my lord the king?" "Speak," he replied. The woman asked, "Why have you devised something similar against the people of God? When the king spoke as he did about this matter, he has pronounced his own guilt. The king has not brought back his own banished one. We will certainly die and be like water poured out on the ground, which can't be recovered. But God would not take away a life. He would devise plans so that the one banished from him does not remain banished. Now therefore, I've come to present this matter to my lord the king because the people have made me afraid. Your servant thought, I must speak to the king. Perhaps the king will grant his servant's request. The king will surely listen in order to rescue his servant from the hand of this man who would eliminate both me and my son from God's inheritance." Then your servant thought, "May the word of my lord the king bring relief, for my lord the king is able to discern the good and the bad like the angel of God. May the Lord your God be with you." The king answered the woman, "I'll ask you something, don't conceal it from me. Let my lord the king speak." The woman replied. The king asked, "Did Joab put you up to all this?" The woman answered, "As surely as you live, my lord the king, no one can turn to the right or left from anything my lord the king has spoken. Yes, your servant Joab is the one who gave orders to me. He told your servant exactly what to say. Your servant Joab did this to address the issue indirectly, but my lord has wisdom like the wisdom of the angel of God, knowing everything on earth." The king said to Joab, "I hereby grant this request. Go, bring back the young man Absalom." Joab fell to the ground on his face, paid homage, and blessed the king. "Today," Joab said, "your servant knows I have found favor with you, my lord the king, because the king has granted the request of your servant." So Joab got up, went to Geshur, and brought Absalom to Jerusalem. However, the king said, "He may return to his house, but he may not see my face." So Absalom returned to his house, but he did not see the king. No man in all Israel was as handsome and highly praised as Absalom. From the sole of his foot to the top of his head, he did not have a single flaw. When he shaved his head, he shaved it at the end of every year because it became too heavy for him. He weighed the hair from his head and it weighed 5 pounds according to the royal standard. 3 sons and a daughter named Tamar were born to Absalom. His daughter Tamar became quite beautiful. Absalom lived in Jerusalem 2 years but never saw the king. Then Absalom summoned Joab in order to send him to the king, but Joab was unwilling to come. So he summoned him a second time, but he still wouldn't come. So he said to his servants, "Look, Joab's field is next to mine, and he has barley there. Go and set it on fire. So Absalom's servants set the field on fire. Then Joab did go to Absalom's house. He said to him, Why did your servants set my field on fire? Absalom answered Joab, Look, I sent for you and said, Come here. I want to send you to the king to ask, Why have I come back from Geshur? I'd be better off if I were still there. So now let me see the king. If I am guilty, let him kill me. Joab went to the king and reported this to him. Then the king summoned Absalom, and he came in, bowing to the ground before the king. And the king kissed Absalom,